All right, game number 2, John versus NetFlxNChil. That first game was incredible. Both players showing their prowess and just proving that this was the right round to cast. Really, really, really excellent first game between Raiders and Kala. We'll see what both of these players end up choosing. John went with Kala. No randomization the first time. We'll see who he goes with this time. NetFlxNChil willing to random. Kala versus Raiders again. Different map, though. Definitely a smaller map. This might be much, much, much different just based on the layout of the map. So when they scout each other, they may realize, well, it's going to be the same thing. Or not. We might see them trying different things against each other. We may see air forces. I think both players played exactly how they needed to last match. It was just NetFlxNChil executed some harassment early on and got rid of a lot of workers. Those vultures were nuts in how many workers that they killed when I thought that he wasn't going to get as many as he did. Or, excuse me, it was the Banshees. The Banshees were incredibly effective. He made maybe 4 total and just was able to get so many. All right, we've got a Morph coming in. You can only land those where you have vision. That's why they land them here, and then they run them across the map. It's basically free scouting. You don't have to use an SCV. More movement across the map. See, this is where I'm not sure how to start casting a match like this, considering we just had the exact same matchup. We've talked about the players. We've talked about the races. What else is there to talk about? I guess we could talk about some of the later game options that both of these races have, and what we would tend to see. So, like Raiders, for example, if you weren't going mech, you could go heavy bio with those field medics, which we saw in the past used quite effectively, actually, with the shell used. I believe NetFlxNChil was the one that used them. It's like a minor defense matrix. But if you have enough of them, you can cast it on a bunch of Marines, and they might be able to survive running into the grinder. So they might be quite effective. We actually have a second Raiders barracks coming out for NetFlxNChil, which to me means he's going to be trying a different build out this time, and he is up 1-0, so he has the opportunity to try something else. Maybe going to try to end the game a little faster using a nice big group of Marines, field medics, and firebats, the little teddy bear firebats. They're so small, we're going to see them again, I hope we do, because they're, well, I don't know, maybe we won't see them, because unless we have fast zealots out from Jonarific, firebat's probably not going to be too worthwhile. But they are quite strong. They are much stronger than Brood War firebats. I don't know about StarCraft 2 firebats. Those are also quite strong, but the power suit, +1 armor to firebats and increases their movement speed to that of Raiders is quite darn good. Okay, what do we have here? Singularity Charge, that's Dragoon range, that's a Brood War / StarCraft 1 upgrade. Here's something cool we could talk about. Oh, no, it's not there anymore. It's in the it's in the High Council, excuse me. But it's a High Council upgrade / Twilight Council / Citadel of Adun. Whatever it's called in HeptaCraft, it's called the High Council, right? It's an upgrade that allows you to respawn your zealots as Dragoons, which is a nice little lore tidbit and also a really, really cool addition as a late-game Kala upgrade. Again, it's really cool to see how it's lore-centric, but also really powerful, where it automatically respawns your zealots as Dragoons. It's a Terrazine upgrade. In StarCraft lore, when those zealots go down, if they're still mildly alive, they get put into the cold, hard shell of a Dragoon so they can continue serving Ire. All right, Repulsor coming across the field. Here we're going to see Repulsors used probably to great extent. If they can see the stuff up this ramp. Marine instantly killed, getting blasted away, poor guy. And here's again where we can see the strength of the Repulsor. It can kite these Marines, and it can 2-shot them, so it is maybe 3-shot. That's at 26. Let's see. Yeah, it can 3-shot them, so 1 extra shot from the Dragoon. That's a neat little balancing. I don't know how intentional that was for this specific matchup, but that actually makes a big difference. 1 field medic out. You can see their energy efficiency is quite low, so they can't afford to just heal everything all the time. But it strikes me like NetFlxNChil he's getting his stim pack and U-238 shells. Field medics, Marines. I think he's going to go for an early push. Again, he's up 1-0, so he thinks he can afford it. And if Jonarific doesn't have defense, specifically, maybe he's got to get some good stasis fields off or something like that, he won't be able to hold this off. But now we see Robo Facility from Jonarific. Both players trying something different. And I can pretty definitively say that Robo against Mass Bio will win. I expect, especially if we see Colossi coming out that have that, they're much, much different than vanilla Colossi, and if we see one, you will be quite engaged by them. But Reavers and Colossus, both just AoE powerhouses. We have the stim down there as NetFlxNChil tries to take out what Jonarific already has. The repulsors trying to run away. They might get picked off. They are just fast enough. We have the sentry in here that's going to provide some survivability, but the sentry getting picked off. And look at these repulsors trying to run away. John does save both of them. Again, those cost Terrazine. You don't want to lose them. NetFlxNChil, though, he lost some Marines there. He's casting those shells. Very rarely do we see it, but they are quite good. And it doubles the health of Marines for as long as that lasts. And he did cast them, but looks like they're going to end just in time. So both players looking for a different tech path, but we might see the game ending here. This is going to be an interesting engagement. I don't think these Marines will be able to force their way up this map, just because there's 3 repulsors and those kill Marines. In one volley, they can kill a Marine each time. So even though the field medics would have been excellent if the repulsors weren't there, actually a really interesting choice there by Netflix, sacrificing a field doctor so that the repulsors would at least stop and allow the Marines to fall back. We have more Marines at home, which may be enough to hold out against this, but now John has an advantage. The supplies are relatively the same, and John can't reinforce because he's supply blocked. NetFlxNChil, if he gets some more units out, he's got a lot of Marines, more field medics coming out, stimming to get away. These poor field medics. Get out of there! But with this amount of repulsors, these Marines are going to have trouble. They have to use this high ground to their advantage, knowing that those repulsors can't shoot uphill if they don't have vision. And they will have vision because there is an observer. So John having the vision, putting it on top of this little tower thingy. Oh, and actually Netflix seeing it, catching it in the fog of war, and destroying it. And we have Jonarific, both players expanding on the backside of this. And how will this go? He's trying to get those repulsors. He does get one. He kills the sentry as well. These Marines moving around, getting rid of all of the Dragoons. But the repulsors, though, continue to do a huge amount of damage on the backside of this. And Netflix deciding, let's just get rid of the Dragoons. They're the only things that can actually follow up from this. Even if the repulsors kill most of the Marines, the Dragoons are the only things that are going to be able to actually do real damage. The repulsors, though, continuing to be a pain in NetFlxNChil's backside. And I expect them to continue that way. We don't see any more coming out, but we do have a shuttle. We do have a shuttle being built, and I don't think it's been seen. Let's check. Yes, so NetFlxNChil has no idea that there is a robo facility out. Well, he does know there's observers, but he doesn't know that John might be focusing on a robo build this time. Or maybe he's not. I mean, he has a shuttle, though, so he's going to try something sneaky. If he can get those repulsors in the back of the base here, they can destroy a lot of SCVs. You'll notice SCVs actually have more health than Raiders, which is an interesting little thing. Those ball things are really good. Yes, they are. And again, they cost Terrazine. And how much gas do they cost? They are not cheap. 75.75, not cheap. And again, the Terrazine, you are restricted. John already spending a good chunk of his own Terrazine for that. Tier 2 defensive matrix is pretty good. Yeah, again, it doubles the health of Marines, but it also completely reduces the viability of field doctors to heal through any damage. So, honestly, I would take the shell over heal in most instances. We have a scan going down. What did he see? Did he just scan the main base? Not sure where he just scanned, but he probably saw now there's 6 repulsors on the field. These will just annihilate Marines. NetFlxNChil has to consider tech switching. If he got vultures with ion thrusters, he would be able to get rid of these repulsors, though. They're very fragile and meant for harassment. I think John may have overinvested, but it depends. If he was anticipating Netflix to move across the map and attack him with Marines, then it might not have may not have went the same way. Again, being offensive with those is going to be more challenging than holding out against a big ball of Marines. There's the fire bats! Oh, yes, they're so tiny. Okay, one little probe moving up there, and you might think that was wasteful, but what it did tell John is that, hey, the enemy army is exactly where I expected it to be. It's not moving out, and it's about to kill me at this moment. Oh, the shuttle drops with the Reavers! Okay, looks like he's getting a second Reaver here. Might use this to hold out at home. Another shuttle. He might be doing some double shuttle Reaver drops. This is classic Brood War as well. I don't think Netflix has any idea that this is coming. Oh, dear. He's got one turret coming up, but it's going to be too late. And here's the Reaver going to start shooting Scarabs. 1, 2 going down, and just getting out with the shuttle immediately. And that's the joy of the Reaver shuttle drops. Not the best in terms of splash damage. Could have gone a lot better, but he's like, you know what? I'll just go around and do this somewhere else. And until Netflix gets some sort of anti-air defense, both players dropping on each other. Oh, dear. Okay, we got a lot of turrets going up, but not quite in time. Here goes the Reaver. One more SCV goes down. 2 more SCVs go down. 3 Marines go down as he's running away with the shuttle, but let's keep an eye on this drop as well. Both players dropping. As a caster, keeping an eye on both of this can be challenging. We have Cloak just about finished here, which is going to allow his drop ships to cloak. We also had Gravitic Drive finish for John, which I believe increases... Oh, did he cancel it? He may have canceled it. I saw it up there, but it should increase his shuttle movement speed. And here goes these 2 drop ships. John's army actually starting to move out, not realizing that this drop is coming towards him. Full of infantry right now. And without a Reaver here or something to defend these, this is going to be a huge, huge, huge boon for NetFlxNChil. But there's the stasis field. He might want to do that again. He might want to do that again. Oh, it's on cooldown. Oh, dear. Okay, well, that was stasis field, as you can see. You can freeze enemy units. Maybe blowing that a little too early before all the units had dropped out of the dropships. The dropships are cloaked, though, so if he decides to get out of here, he could. Getting rid of the Forge, interesting choice. Loading up, probably felt it was the only thing he could do. Will any of these dropships go down? No, they are going to get away. They are quite speedy. Meanwhile, we got 2 shuttles full of Reavers just hanging out in the middle of the map. Where are they going to go? There's turrets just all over the place. And I gotta say, Netflix does have a lot of just infantry around, just kind of hanging out. I'm concerned about these turrets, though. These shuttles aren't like tissue paper. They can't survive 1 turret shooting them until maybe they drop. And instead, dropping the Reavers to just start destroying debris. Interesting choice. We have a 3rd base here. We still have the 2 full dropships. Where are these going to go? There's no cannons around. Oh, but there's the Reaver. If he sees the Reaver, he might want to drop on top of it. But instead, the Reaver is just going to annihilate. Oh, good stasis field right there. Very good stasis field right there. The Reaver, old school Reaver, moving very, very slow, just like old school Reaver, is going to get in there and be able to kill these Marines, especially when they unstasis. Goodbye, Marines. Now there are 3 Reavers and shuttles. Even just on a normal attack, it's good to load Reavers into shuttles because they are so slow. Both of these players, though, once again proving how comparable they are to each other. We see the supplies are pretty even. Harvesting, income, pretty even. We got fast tracks coming out for NetFlxNChil. That's a good thing to point out because it is a Terrazine upgrade that could make a big difference if we see a lot of tanks. We do have 2 tanks out. John deciding to play his hand here. If he drops the Reavers before the shuttles get destroyed, NetFlxNChil is going to lose all of these bio units. And Netflix now moving out with his army. He's going to pass through. He sees the shuttles. He sees the sentries. Oh, and both players getting a little skittish now that they see each other, trying to attack each other at the same time. The shuttles, though, kind of low health. And here we go. We're going to have a big engagement here. The Reavers, though, in the back are going to do a lot of damage against these Marines if they get there in time. If they get close enough, I should say, without the tanks hitting them. This one tank is quite low. This is where you might want to use those morphs. Drop them in. Use the auto repair. Repair up your shuttles, repair up your siege tanks, and now we've got a bit of a Cold War going on. But John has taken 3 bases on the backside of this. Well, kind of 2. He's already had this one. So we have kind of the opposite of last game, where John is going to have a big macro advantage because he's going to have the extra bases. And instead, knowing that the tanks are sieged up here, going to drop in with 4 shuttles. And these Reavers are going to be able to just annihilate these SCVs. And, but Wraiths! Interesting choice. We've got Wraiths, and oh no, but he's running his infantry into 4 Reavers, 3 Reavers, but the shuttle's getting chased away by Wraiths. Really well played by NetFlxNChil. John not sure what to do as NetFlxNChil moves down the ramp to get rid of these. And while the Wraiths are here, they got rid of the shuttles. Nope, the shuttles are still alive. Really well played by Netflix, but just not enough to finish the job, basically. And now that there's 3 Reavers up on top in his base. Oh, and getting rid of the Reavers. Oh, the shuttles go down, and all the Reavers go down. That's quite expensive for Jonarific, though. Well played by Netflix. The first attempt to get rid of that stuff failing. He did lose a good chunk of workers there, though. Both players relatively even on workers killed for this point in the game, right? NetFlxNChil has an advantage, but not enough that would make or break the game. I mean, we saw Jonarific down 43 workers last match and almost won. All right, well, sentries trying to escape. Those are pretty expensive as well with their permanent Guardian Shield. And even though it's the same matchup, we have entirely different tech paths from both players this time around. We've seen Reaver drops, which is really, really cool. We have +3 bio, well, +3 infantry coming out for NetFlxNChil, and more Wraiths, which I think is quite smart. He is getting... Oh, no, that's just normal Scarabs. I thought that was a Scarab upgrade of sorts. You can increase Reaver Reaver Scarab capacity to 8 and increase the damage that they do. Sight and detection range of observers could be quite good, considering now we see that there's going to be cloak wraiths and cloak dropships for both players just sort of hanging around. There is a shuttle here, and Netflix sees it. I wonder if he may think that that's full, he may not. He has one wraith he could try to shoot away, but we all know that it's empty. He doesn't, so interesting. Now transitioning into those tanks, though. Only +1, but enough to probably force a Dragoon push back. And what does he have in here? 1 tank, 4 Marines, and then a bunch of Marines. Tanks take up 8 slots? Tanks take up... Yeah, I think they take up 8 slots. Dropping in and on the 3rd base, or the 4th base, rather, of Jonarific, getting rid of a lot of workers. But he did stasis a tank, which may allow John to kill it before he can get his workers out. It looks like Netflix, though, may instead be trying... Yeah, for a second I thought it'd be suicide, but he did get one... Ooh, he got 1 dropship out full of units. That's a big deal. And we have nothing from John across the map to counter this harass separately against Netflix's income. Again, John does have way more bases, though, so he can, in a way, afford to lose this stuff. 1 repulsor going down, though, that's a tough thing to lose. And may be able to get the dropship. It's going to be close. Those Dragoons are quite speedy. Oh, I think he's going to lose it. Oh, Dragoon, shoot it once. Oh, the full dropship goes down. That's a big deal, actually, as the harassing potential of NetFlxNChil takes a nosedive. Is he rebuilding? No, he's not. He's not rebuilding any shuttles. But he does have a big group of medics, field doctors, and tanks. He's scanning to check for observers, I suspect. And NetFlxNChil down significantly in terms of supply. This is going to be an interesting engagement, as we should expect Kala to win, but a good chunk of that supply is in workers. At least 15 to 20 of it is in workers, so you have to think that does sort of lower the supply difference, but NetFlxNChil is making a move here. Maybe... I think he's gambling that there's no Reavers, and there aren't, but he doesn't really know that. So he's going to try to siege up here and start attacking here, getting rid of the rocks immediately. Interesting choice. Interesting choice to destroy the rocks. Maybe going to get rid of them to increase his ability to move up the ramp, or actually stopping the Zealots from killing him by moving down the ramp. We do have another shuttle full of Reavers. Random probe. Not sure where that guy went. These probes, it was because the Nexus, one of the Nexuses went down, and it looks like John going to try to circumvent this army. We got a nice spread here by NetFlxNChil, and John actually looking maybe for a semi-base trade and saying, you know what, I have more bases than you, most likely. I could either go for his base, or he's going to go and try to attack this army from behind. I can't say that I would consider that advisable, but here's a clutch Zealot actually getting vision to see that this is unsieged. Will John act on it? Again, he's ahead still significantly in supply. We have more Reavers being built, more tanks being built, and then Zealot legs as well, which could make a big difference if it finishes in time for this engagement. Both players constantly on the cusp of killing each other, of engaging each other, and sort of backing out. And now the tug of war is shifted back towards NetFlxNChil, where John's army, though, is sort of sandwiched. This could go really poorly for John. This could be the swing back that Netflix needs, but the Reavers are in the shuttles, now getting dropped. They're going to just smash their way through this. The Marines, though, stop moving on top of the Marines, or the Marines stop moving on top of the shuttles with the Dragoons in them, and I think all the Reavers are dead. NetFlxNChil has just like that made the supply difference evaporate. As he has closed the gap, all the high-tech Reavers are gone. And he still has tanks on the other side of the map to just sort of bother incoming reinforcements of Jonarific. John's saying, you know what, I think I still have a macro advantage. If I send more units, I could bring this back and just keep putting the pressure on. But no, Netflix having a ton of tanks on the backside of this with +2. What do we have here? Extended sensors for those observers coming out for John, and also you can raise your supply cap for a lot of money in HeptaCraft, and that's what John is doing, because he was close to 200 supply. It might be worth it to get that money back at this point, I don't know, but another expansion going down for John. And what does he have to defend against this? A lot of Zealots and Dragoons, and he still has those Reavers. Big scarab shots from the Reavers. Again, those are very important. He could even use shuttles, load up Zealots, and drop them on top of the tanks. Could make a really big difference as well. You know, no matter what happens, this series has been excellent by both of these players. And Netflix, knowing that he's kind of got a positional advantage here, sends his Marines over to the right, where John has a lot of production, including his High Council. has not gotten that instant return that I was describing earlier, but that's the Zealots coming back as Dragoons. But he's got the Marines in here getting rid of some of their production, and like I had said last game, I sort of felt that Jonarific, with the income he had, he just needed more production. But now the production structures are being destroyed. We have Reavers, though, dropped on the other side to get rid of this annoying harassment, getting rid of his... Oh, no, the Artosis pylon going down and depowering all of these buildings. But yes, really, it's just getting as many gateways as you can out. You got to think of your gateways almost like barracks or factories for Terran. Just get as many as you can. And here are the Zealots getting dropped on top of the tanks. John playing this really, really well as NetFlxNChil is forced to react a lot of different ways to this. As the smart fire, the non-existence of smart fire is really hurting these tanks. Oh, and the Reaver's getting dropped, picking up 2 more tanks. And field doctors. Again, really well played by both players, but on the backside of this, NetFlxNChil has just had constant, excellent macro. He is spending his money like a champion right now. He's getting his, what is this? His 4th base, and he's managed to take out 2 of John's bases. So he is, he's closed the gap militarily with a really excellent engagement by pincering John's forces here, picked off the reinforcements, and has rebuilt his army on top of that by spending all of his money. John having a lot of money, but it's because his production structures were depowered, he was unable to build a lot on top of that. And here's some Wraiths. There's no anti-air here. The Wraiths actually being used to pick off Reavers. The Reavers are fairly fragile, and John trying to get those out. He has no shuttles. 1 Reaver goes down on a combined tank blast. 2nd Reaver goes down. The Wraiths actually doing excellent and just kind of shooing away this army. There are 2 observers here. Jonarific has been very, very good at making sure to keep observers, which is very, very, very important against Raiders. But Netflix putting the pressure on now, shooing John back to his base, moving in and going for another expansion here. Really good use of stasis fields, getting rid of a lot of the Marines, taking them out of the fight for now. But will it be enough? As another Nexus goes down, John's down to 3 bases as his main base and natural are getting mined out. Still a pretty large force here from Netflix, and again, he is spending his money. His macro on the back end of these attacks is just absolutely on point, and it's allowing him to just reinforce these armies incredibly fast, whereas John just doesn't have the production, again, to just use that money. He has a lot of money in the bank, but he's unable to attack on the back, to push this back by reinforcing with a lot of Zealots. There's no Firebats in this army. There's no Vultures in this army. A huge mess of Zealots, and maybe transition into Archons would be the right choice, but it might be too late. Another shuttle coming out as John is down by over half the amount of supply, though. What's it looking like for workers? It's a tricky situation here, specifically for John. He's down by a lot, but the game is definitely not over until you see the GG or the last building getting destroyed. He does have this over here, still pushing out units, as many Zealots and Dragoons as he can get. And I think honestly, if we would have seen 1 Colossus come out, that could have made a huge difference. But I think that this amount of Marines is going to spell the doom. 1 Colossus with a Firestorm at the bottom of this ramp could have made a big difference, like I was saying. But I think it was maybe just the amount of production, the lack of the production structures may have made a big difference here. And really just saying NetFlxNChil had he's a good player, really good micro. Both of these players are really good players, I should emphasize. But NetFlxNChil with his macro, when he was attacking, he was constantly making a new army on the back end of it. Made a big, big difference. And NetFlxNChil takes the series 2-0 in 2 very close matches, but 2 very, really fun matches to watch.